Part 2. Inoculating the devices. Step 1. Move all of those materials into the biological safety cabinet. Step 2. Remove devices and cover slips from the container. This should be done about half an hour to an hour before you actually start the experiment. You want to set them out so early so they have time to dry, because they need to dry before you can inoculate them. And you want to make sure that they dry in such a way so that the habitat side of the devices and the entire cover slip do not touch the Kim wipe. Of course, some part of the cover slip is going to have to touch the Kim wipe, that being the corners, and I'll demonstrate how properly to do this here. While you have the device secured in your tweezers, it's best to try to get as much liquid off it as possible before putting it on the Kim wipe. Note how I move the tweezer tips up so that when the device touches the Kim wipe, the tweezer tips do not, so that they remain sterile, as the Kim wipe is not sterile. The cover slips, on the other hand, should be taken out with your hand, as the tweezer might break them. As mentioned before, once this is done, you have to wait 30 minutes to an hour for the devices and the cover slips to fully dry, because until they are dry, you cannot use them. This is what they look like when they are fully dry. Now we on to step 4. You want to position the cover slip and the device in such a way that they're ready to be inoculated. You want to put the cover slip into the base of the petri dish and the device face up into the lid. We're going to be putting the device onto the cover slip face down later. If you were just recovering and not imaging, you would just not put a cover slip onto the base of the device, and you would put the device down, as you do here. Step 6. Add 0.7 microliters of diluted culture to the center of each habitat. This constitutes inoculating the device. The goal of this step is to add 14 equally spaced dots of liquid along the middle of the device as quickly as possible. The reason you want to do it as quickly as possible is because if the dots dry out, the device won't seal as well to the petri dish or to the glass cover slip, as the case may be. All of the dots are going to get squished down eventually, so your accuracy here is less important. The next step is to place device, habitat side down, onto the cover slip in the petri dish. It should be done gently, and if you're imaging, place the device onto the middle of the cover slip. The next step should be performed immediately after this one, as it ensures the liquid culture placed in the device is spread out evenly among all the habitats, as well as ensuring that the device is properly sealed to the cover slip, or petri dish, whatever the case may be. To perform this step, you want to take a folded Kim wipe in one hand, and with the other, press down on the sides of the device, and then release and press down in the middle of the device. You want to repeat this process multiple times, all the while using the Kim wipe to absorb the excess liquid that escapes. The Kim wipe might also be used to help ensure even coverage as it sucks the liquid towards itself. This whole process is best done while the device and petri dish are laying flat against a surface. Once you are satisfied with the coverage you have achieved, move on to the next step. Watch me do it here. Even coverage essentially means that when you look at it, it all looks to be one color, as it is here. Step 9. Add 4 moistened Kim wipes around the edge of the petri dish. Make sure that the Kim wipes do not touch the device and that they are not dripping. The Kim wipes prevent the device from drying out, and they are especially important for long, i.e. 16-hour or more, incubations. The exact orientation of these Kim wipes around the device is not important, but it is best if they are evenly spread around the petri dish. Once all 4 Kim wipes have been added, put the lid of the petri dish onto the petri dish with the device. Repeat all these steps with all of the devices that you wish to use, although it is best to do the drying of the cover slips and the devices all at once. Once all of the petri dishes are ready, add all of them to the 37-degree static incubator, ensuring that the petri dish lid faces up. You don't want the devices to dislodge.